Hello, welcome to Soulprint. More of your uh, answers to questions that you ask. I am answering them either by pendulum cards or straight channeling. And this week is an interesting one. It's talking about what is the future of COVID. We've kind of moved on from COVID, but COVID is still out there. And if I'm not mistaken, it sort of continues to mutate. So somebody wanted to know if this is going to, I'm sorry, I'm not really keeping track of names in terms of who answered questions, but it was a really good question. Wanted to know if sort of COVID was going to just continue to diminish and become a nonsense kind of thing, or if it is going to, spiral back and kind of hit us again. So I'm going to ask Spirit that to get that kind of overview. So what they're saying is that it might, and more likely than not, it will end up being something that we get vaccinated for, like once a year, once every 2 years, that kind of thing. Um, because it's going to continue to kind of mutate and do what it does. But it looks as if overall it's going to diminish, but not disappear. So while I'm on kind of health questions, let's just pivot to a couple other questions that I have. So, Spirit, is Joe Biden healthy enough and strong enough and has the stamina enough to um, run for and complete his next term as president of the United States? He has incredible vitality, a lot more than people realize. And it's interesting because what they're saying is he has learned how to pace himself. He walks at a certain pace, he talks at a certain pace. Even though I haven't seen it, I bet he eats at a certain pace. What that does is it allows him to reserve energy, reserve vitality when it doesn't need to be expended, right? I mean, if you're going from point A to point B, you're still going to get there whether you zip or you stroll. So, and that's not to say that he can't kick into gear when he has to and when it's necessary. I'm just saying what they're telling me is he has the vitality in part because he has learned how to hold what he needs in reserve for when he needs it. So that's the good news. Let's take a quick pop and see what the other guy's doing. So, pendulum, or sorry, spirit. It's is Donald Trump actually healthy enough to get to um the election, the 2024 election for president? Is he healthy enough to um get there? All right, what they're saying, and I need to be careful, what they're saying is his health becomes more precarious as the legal pressures mount. There's a big difference between being able to function with chaos, okay, which is what that guy can do. He can do it because he's created the chaos for forever now. So, of course, he can function within chaos. What he is not going to be able to function well with um, is sort of the high anxiety and stress that comes from the kind of legal situations that he is in. Now, it's an interesting thing with him because he, in some ways, has the ability to compartmentalize. Okay, so it's sort of like, oh, okay, I don't need to deal with that. My lawyers are dealing with it. I can ignore that for now. But what's happening is over the next, year, 2 years, all those things that the lawyers are dealing with are going to finally circle back and he is going to have to deal with it. He is going to have to testify. He is going to have to give depositions. He is going to be a defendant hauled into court. And that's going to take it, there's going to be a significant deterioration. And I also see mental confusion becoming a concern. I don't know what his cognitive abilities are or aren't. It feels though that what I'm getting is whether there's a decline in that or not, or whether the decline is sort of the normal decline with age or not. What I'm getting is confusion and temper created from not being able to keep his thoughts focused on something. Because there's so much coming at him, most of it which is not very pleasant for him, I guess. All right, so there's that one. See you next time. Bye.